On Blues Radio International, it's Jesse and Audrey taking you back to Phoenix, Arizona, to our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Janice Johnston. Hi, Janice.
Hi, how are you guys?
Very good.
Well, we're fine, but the first and absolutely most important question that everyone wants to know is how you're doing, because not only are you treating people with COVID, but you've experienced COVID personally. How are you doing today?
You know, I'm doing quite well overall. I still have a little bit of leftover symptoms that are still there. Fatigue is probably the biggest thing for me, and also feeling, muscle aches, I guess. And my smell's not back yet either. I can't. One of my favorite smells in the whole wide world, and this may sound silly, is Fabuloso.
Oh yeah.
The purple one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
but that's a strong smell, and you can't smell that at all.
I can't smell it at all.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know how things are going in Phoenix, because you seem to have turned things around. Tonight we're connecting with you from South Florida. Miami-Dade, for example, is at 146% of ICU capacity as we come on with you. And across the country, of course, the rates are high. We're losing one person a minute to COVID in the United States. How are things in Phoenix, and what can you tell us about where this is headed?
Well, in our facility, I can tell you that the number of people calling in for testing and then needing to get tested has gone down significantly, it feels like, in the last week. We were running probably 50, 60 people a day through just to get the swabs every day. And there was one day this past week, I think we only had 6. So to me, that's two things. Our cases are going down, but we also are seeing that there's more facilities that are offering testing too. So, but it definitely does feel like things are getting better. When you go out, everybody's paying attention and doing what they need to be doing. And I think it's just, we had a little wake-up call here, and people need to pay attention to that. Everybody wants to get back to normal, right? And we just need to do what we need to do and put it in our juice box and suck it up for a little while. And if we do, we're going to go back for us.
Well, I definitely want to say that from the last time we spoke to you, you look fantastic, and your hair looks beautiful too. I'm not sure if you had it done or you did it yourself, but you look like refreshed, like it's all run its course. Are you still feeling anything other than body aches, or are you just like you're done?
It's the fatigue for me is the biggest thing, but of course that could be a lot of different things. So it's not all COVID, right?
Yeah.
We're all working hard and long hours, and it just doesn't stop. So that's probably part of it.
And the stress doesn't help at all.
Yeah. I think that it just feels like Groundhog Day, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's just the same thing over and over again. Trying to change my hair a little bit, but got to do something different. You're going to go nuts.
Yeah, I just had that conversation last night about that. I think I was talking to Jesse about it too, where it's like we're all just in this kind of a holding pattern right now. And, making the best of it is really your only choice. So, in order to maintain some semblance of mental health, I think finding interesting things to do and thinking outside the box is a good way to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've taken, that time with our practice to really take a deep look at how we process things, how can we be more efficient, and I think we've come a long way in terms of making our systems and processes better and better for our patients too. So it's been when you look at that, maybe if I didn't have that kick in the pants, I'd still be doing things the old way. Not that they were bad, but now I think we're just more efficient.
Yeah. And are you finding that you're having no problem getting the protective stuff that you need to do your work safely?
It's still not where I can order what I would like to have. And it's easier than it was when we first started. But we like the surgical masks with the loops that just go behind your ears. People don't like the one that tie behind the back of their head. And it always seems like that's the ones that we can get. So, it's not perfect. Buying the PPE to protect the staff to do so just doesn't make sense, to put it on and off all day long and put on a new one. What does it matter if you get your swab at 9 or 3? I mean, just do them all at once and get them all out of the way.
And, talking about the protective gear, there's, we all know by now that, wearing the mask is the best way to protect yourself and protect others. And one of the things that I've seen a couple times is where people have, chosen not to wear a mask, but they have that like face shield on. And I understand that's to protect your eyes only, and it doesn't really keep any of the things from wafting underneath and that could make you sick or in reverse.
Yeah. So it's better than nothing, but a mask would still be preferred. And if you do want to protect your eyes, the shield would be the best way to do that. Is it something that could be, a substitute for a mask? I guess, but it's probably not going to do as good as a mask will do for you. It's better than nothing, though.
And another thing is that by now we should all understand that, you can contract the virus by inhaling droplets. Now, say, for example, you're out and somebody's either smoking or vaping. Is it possible that you could, by inhaling the smoke or the vapor, contract the virus that way?
Well, I would think yes. We don't know exactly, but, anything where there's aerosol that's in the air, certainly, when people use nebulizer medications and there's a mist that goes through the air, most definitely I would think the virus could be in that. And, with vaping and smoking, it probably would be the same type of deal. I've actually had patients who are positive for COVID who are still smoking. And that just blows, it just shows you how addictive nicotine is. And knowing that COVID goes down to the lungs and causes so much inflammation, but yet they still choose to smoke, probably just because they feel like they can't, but can't stop. But how crazy is that, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's crazy, but people are also under high stress. So it's a time when anyone who's stressed would be most in need of nicotine if they're addicted to it. So it's a terrible thing. Dr. Fauci says we may be only halfway through this, and so we're playing a long game. How accurate that is, I don't know, but it sounds like we're going to be dealing with this for a while. Mm-hmm. What do you think is a good long-term strategy for people to be thinking of in terms of getting out and doing things and trying to get back to normal? In a situation where we know it's not going to be next week, for example, or even 2 weeks from now?
Well, I think, to keep your distance, obviously, maybe if you're going to go out and socialize with others, you keep the numbers down, socializing outside, taking a long drive and going somewhere in your community, maybe that you've never been before, take some day trips, just to get out of the house, because it is important to get, a different scenery. Exercise outside. There's no reason why people can't go for a walk every day or climb a mountain and walk your dog. You don't have to stay inside your home the whole time. But those are some things that certainly you can do. Here it's pretty damn hot here right now. But we still see people out every morning and every evening. In the daytime, it was 119, I think, today, something crazy. So you have to, plan ahead. If you have a pool, use it. Get out there and use it. A lot of people, if they don't have one, maybe a neighbor has one, then it would be, if you just keep your circle small, I think that it's, getting outside is probably a really, really good thing to do.
I think it's a wonderful suggestion. And even though there were predictions, and I'm sure some will come true, about obesity rates rising during this, I think we're also going to have a lot of people getting more healthy. Yeah. I think we all, well, for me at the beginning, I was cooking like crazy. I haven't stopped, but
really focusing on trying to get some really decent exercise in. I'm fortunate enough to have one of those Peloton bikes at home. And so, you can challenge yourself with that, or get a Fitbit, or, something where you're going to be setting some goals and some challenges for yourself too.
And that's, your physical body. Have you seen an outreach from people that are looking for help with like anxiety, depression, things like that right now?
Absolutely. Yes. I think just people are just on edge right now. And, working from home has its benefits, but it isolates people from others. And they feel like they're going a little stir crazy just being at home. Definitely we've had a lot of people reach out for help anxiety wise. Thankfully, that getting therapy, seeing a psychiatrist, all that kind of stuff is readily available now through telemedicine, where it wasn't before. So it actually got easier to get the help that you need that way.
Well, let's hope that is a continuing thing, because if we've established that you can now get help through telemedicine that was otherwise unavailable, I hope that we'll retain that no matter what course this takes.
Yeah, that's the big question, and ones that we don't know as physicians how long the rules have changed for. We honestly hope that they're here to stay. It's sad to say that it took something so drastic to get this over the edge. But I think it's going to be awfully difficult to pull it back and change it to the way it was, now that everyone has experienced how easy and accessible care can be.
Well, Janice, thank you for joining us from Phoenix after another long day at work, and thank you for
You're welcome.
helping our audience understand where we are with COVID. You've taken us through this journey, and we appreciate more than we can express your sage advice and your wonderful presence whenever we've got questions.
All right. Well, it's nice to see you guys.
Do you have any closing thoughts that you want to leave our audience with?
What's on my mind today is children and going back to school, because that's around the corner. That's Monday here in Arizona. We start a little sooner than other states. But I would just encourage parents that if you have kids and they're school-age kids and your schools are open and that's where they're going, because it's different everywhere, if they're not well, keep them home. And I know it's really, really tough for parents who, need to go to work. But I think we're not going to get out of this if we keep sending sick kids to school, because what's going to happen, then the next one gets sick, and then the teacher gets sick, and then the substitute teacher gets sick. And it's just going to be a never-ending kind of thing. So that would be definitely one thing that I would really, really encourage people to do. And I see that with adults too. They'll call me with concerns of COVID, all the symptoms of COVID, and I'll be on video with them, and I can see they're at work. And you would think that nobody would be doing that, but there's a lot of people that do, right? Because they have to put food on the table. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for helping us understand this situation and giving us a positive route to go so we can carry on from here. We will look forward to hearing from you again and wish you continued improvement in your health. And thank you for all you're doing for our community and for your patients.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.